What the
But even with them in the project, you find rocks with slummy outlines, trees and grass with crusty textures that makes them look like they were pulled right out of Minecraft. You know, these days it's starting to seem like those shows that are not even Isekai are the shows that are delivering the Isekai concept more uniquely. The Fruit of Evolution is just another generic Isekai with nothing special about it. And when I say nothing, I literally mean nothing, like at all. No matter how similar an Isekai might seem to another Isekai, oftentimes there's always something that differentiates it from other titles. This one can return to life, this one is a criminal mastermind, this one is a demon lord, this one has a smartphone, this one has a sword, or is it the other way around? And Rimuru wasn't even reborn as a human, like 90% of all other Isekai are, including the Fruit of Evolution. Oftentimes the anime comes off as playful, way too playful, almost like the entire concept of the anime is meant to target children. But I can't really say I'm surprised, seeing how it's produced by a studio that has been around for 11 years now, called Hotline. Do you know them? Yeah? No you don't. And there's a reason for this. It turns out that this studio only has 5 works. You heard me, 5! Despite being around for over a decade, nope, I'm gonna let that sink in for a bit. This studio only has 5 works, all of which are trash, including the Fruit of Evolution. There is nothing this anime does that is unique in the Isekai sense. The protagonist was a fat-ass loser, because of course he is, named Seiichi Hiragi. Even his name is bland. Apologies to anyone with this name. He is constantly bullied at school without ever being able to fight back. I believe this one is every other Isekai we've seen. It was Seiichi's entire classroom that was transported to another world, and the goal of the summoners is to make these teenagers with no knowledge of combat the heroes that will save their world. Look at these idiots, happy to fight for a bunch of strangers that stole you away from your home. I believe this one is called Airufurata. This is worse than kidnapping. Oh, here's the bad guy. Seiichi is the only one ostracized from the class. He's such a rocking loser that his stats literally reads as species, barely human, and gender, creepy male. Seriously? He's the only one who ends up completely away from the others, stuck in the wilderness as he constantly fights for his life, growing stronger in the process and unlocking new skills, one of which is the voice of the world that speaks to him. I believe this one is called That Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime. All the while the other students are loafing off in an Isekai school. I believe they just became Sama spiders or what. In case you haven't pieced it together yet, there is nothing about the show that is desirable if you think about it for more than 5 seconds.
What the
From the hentai graphics to the terrible character designs to the god-awful fight scenes and the JoJo faces that happens in almost every single episode. Everything in the show was cut out from somewhere else. Even Seiichi himself is unoriginal. Granted, he is more open and talkative, which can sometimes lead to funny situations.
Let's see, what's next? Oh, right, I almost forgot I'm starving to death.
Which is more than I can say for most of the other Isekai protagonists we have that are just bland and objectively empty as characters. But aside from this, Seiichi himself is just another Kirito ripoff, as all of them are. SAO has a huge impact on the Isekai genre than most people would like to admit. Kirito's character design is the base for all other Isekai protagonists that came after, some more obvious than others. And no one of them is able to live up to the complete character that Kirito is, because running for just 12 episodes, they all disappear as quickly as they come. These days you can tell which Isekai protagonist to pay attention to by just the way they look. To summarize, if an Isekai protagonist has black hair and sometimes wear black clothes to go with it, then odds are that anime is going to be as forgettable as that cast that learned to play Sword Art Online.
Oh my god! You guys can see it too? So I'm not crazy!
But if they have colored hair, maybe white like Hajime or Kumiko, blue like Rimuru, or sometimes even blonde like Rudius, then $100 says that Isekai is going to be worth checking out, and could potentially be as memorable as my beautiful white cat was. Rest in peace, Rocky Bottom. While the Fruit of Evolution is not necessarily bad, it starts out fun but goes downhill incredibly fast. Some characters are just there to make noise. Most of the characters are just blank slates that are just there to fill in the empty spaces. Most of the dialogues in the show are useless shit that has nothing to do with the show itself. You can practically watch the whole anime on mute and still understand what you're watching. Seiichi is the only thing that keeps the anime moving forward. Without him in the picture, the Fruit of Evolution will drop from 100% to 0.01%.
I'm being generous!
That's how useless the characters are. Even the main waifu Sariel is just another background character. She can't be perceived any other way because she's literally too dumb to function romantically. And why is that? Because she's a freaking gorilla. Now I can get past that if not for the fact that the animation staff won't let us forget, basically making her waifu appeal non-existent. Pasting her anime nature on screen over and over and over again, even in times and situations where it's completely unnecessary. Making people quickly render her out as just another background character that nobody cares about, and probably won't be in my top 20 waifu list. And what is that ring around her head? It's not even attached to her hair. It constantly changes position depending on what direction he's facing, but it seems to have been fixed in season 2. But lots of the crappy displays still remain in place. I don't know how they are supposed to eat from this stone table when it's actually in the foreground. The tree lines are so flat that they basically look like carpet grass. Most text on this book are the very same scribbles copied and pasted upside down. Every background are just static pictures. Most scenes in this anime all focus on a single location at the time of the event. They hardly ever show how the characters travel from one place to another to avoid any movement animations. And they somehow thought we would notice this scene from season 2 episode 5 that happens to be the very same scene they used 5 episodes ago. Episode 5, episode 1. Episode 5, episode 1.
Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
He doesn't even look like himself in this frame, like some bouncer ready for a fight, because when there are movements involved, you get crap like this. Okay, that part was actually funny. Back on topic now, if they are going somewhere 90% of the time, we'll just see that they are already there. It's just like, hey, let's go to the principal's office. Hooray, we're in the principal's office. Let's go to the cafeteria. Hooray, we're in the cafeteria. The animation staff cheat their way with this by only putting the main subject on screen whenever they can so you don't notice the empty streets and the empty surroundings. When they do put people in the background, it's usually just pictures with frozen people in place who are doing absolutely nothing but just standing there, making the animation of the fruits of evolution a joke compared to other simplistic isekai like say Ascendance of a Bookworm that don't even have top tier animation to speak of, but even so, the backgrounds are more detailed where the characters are actually moving. Even in something as corny as Handshakers, still has CGI movable characters in the background, just like most other anime does, rather than leave things at a standstill. And what's worse is that the animations were carried out by Feel, and get this, children's playground. How ironic. But seriously, Feel? The people who give us this, and this, and this, and more importantly, this? But even with, oh yeah, I suppose they give us this too. But even with them in the project, you find rocks with slummy outlines, trees and grass with crusty textures that makes them look like they were pulled right out of Minecraft. And speaking of which, the anime should not have game features, because this isn't a transfer into a game isekai, it's a transfer to a parallel world isekai. Why do things vanish when you kill them? Leaving behind loot makes no sense. This isn't like Kumo Desuka Nanika that is also similar to a game, but the lives of everything are actually treated as being real. The things the protagonist kills remains where they are killed, and she's even forced to feed on them to survive. However, back to the fruit of evolution, everything about the idea of the anime appears to be out of place. Even the game elements are not realistic in the least, like say how you can acquire a pair of boots from killing a slime, or how you can acquire alchemy from killing a monkey. He gains numerous skills every little thing he does, acquiring so many skills so quickly that they're all basically useless. I can't even remember what skill he has because he never uses them. He's not given any situation where he can use them, because there are barely any fights in the series and the fights that we do get are awful. Everything I've mentioned comes together to make this show one absolute clusterfuck. Oh, here's another bad guy. I bet he's working with that other bad guy. Oh, I was right. The anime is incredibly predictable. I can't exaggerate enough how useless the characters are. Why is he sucking on a children's pacifier? The guild master is supposed to be some sort of badass, but he's just a musclehead that never talks about anything else other than his muscles. Even when I gave him a chance to showcase what he's capable of, the fight was just a 2-minute mess and so unoriginal that what we got was and it ended in the most cliche way an anime fight could end. The power of friendship. And what made it worse was the final move, a scene ripped right out of Dragon Ball. And One Punch Man. Remember when I said nothing about the show was original? This one is not even a summon with his loverboy hairstyle and back again demeanor in a world that doesn't even have electricity, which tells me that everyone involved with this thing absolutely don't care who or what they put in here. Everything in this anime just seems like it doesn't belong with anything else in the show. No matter what time of the day it is, the shadows are always directly beneath them, although I suppose this is a problem you can find anywhere. But sometimes they don't even have shadows at all. Check out these morons called the Mohawks. Why are they even here? These are some gay ass welcoming wagon looking to rape newcomers to the guild. And the guild master approves. I don't know how some people can find this funny, but to me it seems like a perfect waste of my time. So why would I watch this when I can watch Friend kick ass? Woo! Now this is a good isekai. Reincarnated as a sword deserves its own compliment video. This anime is like a less refined version of So I'm a Spider So What. Their Demon Lord Lutia somehow reminds me of Demon Lord Ariel for some reason. And both protagonists are similar in the sense that they were both ostracized by their classmates before the transference. They were both stuck on their own and had to fight to become strong while evolving multiple times in the process. But the only difference being that Kumako has grown to become a badass while Seichi is still the exact same person he was. No character development whatsoever. All he has is a terrible harem. the literal gorilla, the literal donkey who's as dumb as hell, the I'll punch you one with the literal bad luck curse, and the talented one who hates herself, and of course it won't be a harem if the most popular girl in class is not among them. It won't be a harem if there's no slave, and it won't be a harem if there's no literal child in it. The whole reason why I watched this anime up to episode 12 was because I wanted to see him pull off some cool shit and shock his classmates for them to just be like, "Oh, is that Hero?" No, wait, that's another show. And for some reason, this Isekai got a season 2 while Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash and So I'm a Spider So What are still stuck in season 1. So unfair. Do you like videos like this? Head down to the comments to let me know and hit that subscribe button while you're down there. I'm on a journey to make my first 100 subscribers and it'll take you no less than 2 seconds to help the channel grow. The video playing on your screen right now is me explaining what will happen if the AIs in anime were real. You should definitely check it out. My name is Stas, a professional scumbag, and this is Weebs Mojo.